Hi, everyone. Welcome to Medi-Veggie. Oh, my goodness. It's Wednesday all over again. And our team, Chopsticks Alley and friends, we're here to welcome you to Chopsticks Alley's weekly Wednesday Medi-Veggie. So, Ashley, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right, thank you, Trami. So to introduce Medi-Veggie, we encourage health from the mind to the body. And during the show, you'll get vegetarian recipes or tips and a short 15-minute guided meditation by Dr. Smita. We are here every Wednesday at 12:15. You can join us on the Zoom call or watch our stream through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or LinkedIn. And as you may have known from the previous Medi-Veggies, April is Poetry Month. So for some history about Poetry Month, it was initiated in April 1996 by the Academy of American Poets, and it is currently the largest worldwide literary celebration. It encourages booksellers, libraries, poets, publishers, and schools to promote the importance of poetry and its significance to society and culture. So for today's episode, we're going to be featuring two poems from Acela Lee Kemper. Acela Lee Kemper is a poet and writer while working towards being an editor in poetry. Her work has appeared in publications including No Tender Fences, the anthology, Quiet by the Silk Club, and Main Squeeze, which is part of the SOU Student Press. With a BFA in creative writing from Southern Oregon University, Acela writes about her experiences as an Asian American woman through self-love, family matters, and existing. She currently resides in Oregon with her family, and her chapbook, Cherry Blossom Festival, is available now on Etsy.
Hi everyone, my name is Acela Kemper and I'll be reading a couple of poems today for Medi-Veggie, part of National Poetry Month. I'm so excited! Thank you so much to Esther and Trami. Hi everyone, my name is Acela Kemper and I'll be reading a couple of poems today for Medi-Veggie, part of National Poetry Month. I'm so excited! Thank you so much to Esther and Trami again for inviting me to this incredible event, and I'm so excited to read some poetry with you all. Yay! So the first poem I'll be
Is the volume okay for everyone? Can someone tell me?
Yeah, the volume is fine.
It's fine. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll continue now.
reading is from my chapbook, Cherry Blossom Festival. And this one, I actually made this back in 2016, just compile our collection of poems and create a chapbook. And this one is about my experiences as an Asian American woman in college. And I'm so excited to publish it years later. So it is available for a digital copy. It's available on my Etsy store. I'll provide the link to Esther to make sure you can purchase your own. So the poem I'll be reading from my chapbook is called Paper Doll, and it was based on a tweet from a singer that I used to follow, where she talked about this person in her life questioning her womanhood and her gender because she dressed in baggy clothes and have short hair. So this is Paper Doll. Paper Doll for Amber. A guy messaged me on Twitter. So, when you're gonna be a girl? I'll be honest, I miss dresses. They cushion my waist and hips, protecting my chest from physical touch. The silky, soft fabric covers my curves, matching my emotions from purple to blue. Dresses make me feel secure. But pants. He waits for me to wear a tight Chinese dress and expects me to lift its hem so he can get a proper boner. Or maybe it is the way my hair fall above my ear. He tried to Photoshop me in a black wig and forced me to sing Chinese ballads to him. But pants. Something about sliding each leg into their sleeves, I feel a sense of new power. Breaking every rule society set up when I came out of my mother's womb. Capris, slacks, khakis, bell-bottoms, shorts, jeans. Wearing pants is like wearing dresses. They cushion my bottom, providing a space for my keys, and a middle finger, just in case. I could wear this tight dress he laid out for me, but if I slip this dress on and use my torn, bedazzled jeans as stockings, walk out of this room, click my heels as they sing Hold Up on the concrete, he won't know the difference.
That's it. Wow. Thank you so much, Estella, for sending us your video. We're going to have one more at the end of Medi-Veggie. So what's the next segment? See, I think we're going to do recipes, right, Mina?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you're about to make.
Well, today I am highlighting a gluten-free vegan naan. First of all, I don't eat naan, too many calories for me, but I had a gluten-free vegan guest, which I'm going to tell you about later. And so I decided to make saag a couple of weeks ago. And if you remember from that last few episodes ago, and saag and naan go together. So I decided to give it a try, and let's have a look. Oh, by the way, @CuriousHelping is my Instagram handle. So these are the ingredients: dairy-free milk, yeast, sugar in the first part. These are some of the things you're going to need. Kate Hill makes the best non-dairy yogurt, and then Bob's Red Mill is a gluten-free flour. You take the yeast and the dairy-free milk, and you mix it up together with the water. You take the dairy-free yogurt and the oil, mix that up with the salt. By the way, the first thing had the sugar in it too. And then you add this flour and you slowly start working it in. And this flour is a gluten-free flour, so it doesn't work the same way as regular flour. And so these blends are made up with rice flours or millet flour, tapioca, potato starch, sometimes teff. They always have xanthan gum in them. Xanthan gum is a great binder. The potato starch makes things light and fluffy. You don't have to make your own blend, just buy Bob's 1-to-1, and you can pretty much use it 1-to-1 as you would regular flour. As you need, add water, and then you just bind it up. You'll see it works very differently than other flours, that regular wheat with gluten, because gluten is what in wheat is what binds it all together. And you know, when you add water, it just sort of changes the strands of the gluten in there and sort of adds and mixes and sort of attaches itself. Here you don't have that benefit. So it does work and bind a little bit differently. but with a little bit of gentle sort of prodding together, it will come together. And when it comes together, you're going to see it looks kind of like a dough ball, and mixes and sort of attaches. So then you take it out, you let it sit for a little bit, and you put a towel on it, and you let it rise for about an hour. And then this is the baking portion, the cooking portion. I do it on a cast iron, very hot cast iron, and you turn it around and cook it about 2 to 3 minutes on either side. And then after you do this, I take some ghee and some herbs. You can use onion seeds. I used salt, all sorts of, you can use, I used leek and herbs and things like that, and made a little topping with it, and voila. I mean, it was really delicious. It doesn't stay very well overnight. So you have to eat it pretty much the same day, but we can talk more about it later. I just wanted to share that with you and say naan is possible for those of us who are gluten-free.
That looked yum. That really looked good. I had a question for you, Mina. So does this dough that you make, when you set it to rise, does it rise as well as regular wheat dough?
It rises, but again, there's many different ways to make gluten-free things rise. And I can talk about that. Like, remember when we made that other green tea cake, and we used dairy-free milk, and we used some apple cider vinegar. That is a way to make it curdle and rise with a little yeast. This, we add a little yeast. It doesn't rise as much, but it does give it some lift. Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't mean, though, that gluten-free flours can't rise. You can get them to rise. It's just a different recipe, right?
Yeah, because I'm thinking if it's yeast, you have yeast in it, it's going to rise, right? So maybe if we let it sit a little longer, it might rise more, you think?
Yeah, about an hour in a warm place with a towel, but it's not going to be like regular flour. We were just substituting. Yeah.
Cool.
Naan always feels very intimidating to me, so I'm glad that you showed this, because it doesn't make it look too difficult, But I want to do a quick shout out real quick to Marcos Villa and Emma Farrell for joining us on Zoom today. Hi. And then also on Facebook, we have Ann Kettler Walter. all the way
Ooh,
from
that's my friend
BC.
Anne.
Oh, Canada. Wonderful. So she's joining us as well. So we love our community who are joining us for Medi-Veggie every week, because we talk about all kinds of stuff and fun topics. And of course, besides the wonderful meditation that we will be experiencing in about 6 minutes, we usually start everything on time. So at 12:30 is when we do our 15 minutes meditation. So Mina, you went sailing or something, right?
Well, yes, I bought a boat. I have sailed, but I've never been certified. So I have now hired this amazing teacher. She's a woman. I want to learn from a woman, and she has sailed 4 oceans. And she basically bought a boat, didn't know anything about it, and rebuilt it from the bottom up. Basically, like, got rid of everything and rebuilt it. So she knows everything about systems of a boat. I had a big adventure, right? Last week I went sailing, and 2 days I changed a battery by myself with her help. I was able to look at the bilge pump and get water out. Like, I felt so strong and like, I can do this. So then we do docking on the 3rd day. We get out there, I get the boat out, and the engine fails. And then I had to call the tugboat people, the Boat USA people, who came out, asked the coordinates, and saved us, and basically towed us, like hooked us on together with like bungee cord or something, and dragged us into the boatyard. So now the beautiful boat is in the boatyard. I'm going to sink in some more money. So in order to do that, my dream is I want to learn how to sail and take this boat out and take out people who might not have an opportunity to do so, and to show them the wonder of the Bay Area. So in order to pay for this new obsession, I have to make some money. So I've decided to start catering, because I'm a chef. So I catering an event this Saturday, socially distanced outdoor kind of thing. and I'm going to bump up my health coaching business. So anyone who wants to get healthy, lose some weight, I'm your girl.
That's awesome. I love it. They say, you should have friends who own boats versus having your own boat for this exact reason. So now
We
we
got
all know
lucky.
someone.
We got lucky.
Yes.
We just have to wait for Mina's boat to get fixed, and we just have to wait for Mina to get your license, right, Mina?
Certified.
You know what?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my saying. Can you see
Oh,
it?
wait.
What does it say? What does it say? Progress? What?
Progress,
Read it.
not perfection. Yes.
Ah,
This is
okay.
my little pet rock. Progress, not perfection. And so I will get that boat out there. I will make the money to be able to take people out, and that is my dream. And so I'm going to do that. So it's going to be a little at a time, step by step. Rome wasn't built in a day. So you know what? Whether it's weight loss, whether it's learning how to ski, whether it's making new friends, whatever, it's the progress, not perfection.
Sounds good. What about you, Ashley? What have you been up to? I know you're up in your eyeballs with school and all kinds of stuff. So tell us about what's going on with you this week.
Yeah, I think you pinpointed everything already, just a lot of school, and just, going to classes. But I've been trying to take care of myself by, meditating every now and then, just squeezing in, whether it's like walking down the hallway or even just going outside for a bit. I try to be mindful in that particular moment. And of course, I'm just drawing in my sketchbook because art has always been like an outlet for me.
Yeah, you've been such an incredible artist for us because for those who know, we have been working on an art book called Art Venture Down the Mekong, and all of the illustrations in the book is done by Ashley. So besides school, she's like doing all that for us, and it's like amazing, right,
Yeah.
Smita?
Ashley, you've just done an incredible job, and we don't want to give anything away because we are preparing for the launch of the book and all that. So everybody get that book when it's launched because you have to see the beautiful photographs that Ashley took. You have to see the illustrations that Ashley made and the photographs that Trami took, and
Also
Jackie.
Jackie, yes.
And Jackie, and you have to look at the lessons that Cynthia and Amanda and I created, and then sit and do those lessons. And through those lessons, you will learn about the arts of Southeast Asia.
Yeah,
So I'm
we're
super
super
excited.
Yeah. The book is also laid out by our artist Cynthia Cao, and she's like so good. Like the whole team, I'm like super excited.
This book
Anyway.
is so beautiful. It's coming up so beautifully. We are so excited about it.
Well, with that, Dr. Smita, I think you can lead us to meditation.
Yeah, so find your comfy spot where you usually sit and meditate, whether it's a sofa, recliner, wherever you sit, you want to sit on the floor, just be comfortable. And this will be a live meditation, and I will switch off my camera. We will do a beautiful visualization today, which again, I always talk about it, that my guides put ideas in my head. I wake up with those ideas and then I sit down and I write my meditation out. So let's get ready to meditate. All right. So just sit down quietly. And now, sitting comfortably, close your eyes and open your palms to receive. And bring your attention to your breath. Your breath is a beautiful way to go within. Just simply follow the movement of the breath. going in through the nose, moving through your throat, into your lungs, filling up your lungs and your heart, and filling up your whole body with energy. As you exhale, exhale any tension, tiredness, fears, or anxiety. Observe your breath. Feel it. Feel it move within you. And now take a deep breath through your nose and hold for a moment and release through your mouth with a ha sound. Once again, take a deep breath through your nose. Hold for a moment and exhale through your mouth. And one more time, take a deep breath in, hold, and let go. Find yourself surrounded with a beautiful, warm, and loving silvery mist. This beautiful, gentle, and calming mist envelopes you, and it's dense enough that you can't see through it. And soon it begins to dissolve. And as it dissolves, you find yourself standing on the shores of a beautiful, deep blue lake. The waters of the lake are calm and look so refreshing. There's some sunlight falling on the waters and twinkling on the waters. You can see the reflection of the sunlight. And all around you is nature, green and majestic. Tall redwoods surround you. And as you breathe in, you can smell the fresh forest smell. The smell of pine. Look up at the vast sky. It's beautiful big sky. And just watch for a moment the big bird, the hawk, making smooth circles up in the sky. And once in a while, it makes swooping motions. And then it glides again beautifully, easily, navigating this big, vast sky. It's not a problem for the hawk to navigate this big sky. It is in the moment, knowing that it belongs there. Feel the oneness of the hawk with this beautiful vast sky. And now bring your attention to the tall redwoods that stand like ancient sages, hundreds and hundreds of years old, always in a circle. And right in the middle of the circle is the mother tree, standing tall and proud. Her branches protecting the little shoots coming up from the moist soil underneath. When it is her time, she will go. She will burn with an internal fire and reduce herself to ashes, creating space for new, creating space for these beautiful baby shoots coming up. There are tiny flowers growing all around that spring up at this time of the year. Purple, blue, magenta, and yellow. And then when it's time, they go away, knowing they will be back when the time is right. There is no rush in nature. There is no need to get to a place at a certain time or meet deadlines. There is no competition in nature. One easily makes way for the other. One goes away, perishes without a worry. This is the way of nature. What is born will eventually die. And whatever dies will be reborn in a different form. There is a deep understanding in nature of the cycle of life and death, and life again. There is a calmness about it. Feel this calm in nature, the calm acceptance of how the cycle of life and death works. Feel the peace and quiet fill every part, every organ. Feel it fill your mind and your heart completely. Take a deep breath and let go. And now bring your attention back to the lake, to that spot where you were standing. There are tiny pebbles lying all around you. Go ahead and pick one of those pebbles up, the one you see right away. Pick it and hold it lovingly in your hands. Keeping your eyes closed, make a wish for this world. Make a wish for what you want to see in your world. Infuse this pebble with loving thoughts and your sweetest energy. And then gently toss it into the calm waters of the lake. Watch the ripples that form and spread, smaller circles becoming bigger and wider. And this is how you move around the world, holding love in your heart, releasing your loving vibration, your loving thoughts into the world, and creating beautiful energy all around you. And with this, the world will begin to change and shift. Now take another deep breath and let go. And feel the peace and calm and the quiet deep within you. Stay with it as you go about your day. Namaste.
Thank you for another lovely meditation.
You're welcome. How is everybody feeling?
I was just looking at this little pebble that I have. My progress, not perfection. It's so funny. I showed it to you, but it's just so strange. It's just, I think you're all connected. I think our energies must be connected or something because it's just, it warms my heart. Sometimes you see things and it's like, wow.
Yeah, when I woke up, I was shown that scene and I was told that we are going to talk about how we are powerful enough to change the energy of any space. And I think that is the deeper message of this meditation. It does come with that message that when whatever we hold within us, if it's loving thoughts, if it's peace and calm and quiet, that's the energy we exude, that's the energy we create. Wherever we go, we can go into the mall, and if there's chaos there, we can change it. We can change that energy. So, but I'd love to know what wishes people threw into the lake.
How about we ask Emma? if she's ready.
Mhm.
I was thinking about during the meditation when you were talking about the shading the saplings or the seedlings coming up. Something I've been thinking a lot about right now as we're in spring and all the wildflowers are blooming is how they're mistreated. A lot of people like to go out and take flowers or take pictures in these big fields of blooms, but it kills the flowers. And then they don't have a chance to go to seed to bloom the next year, and then walking on the ground compacts the soil, so even if they do go to seed, they can't come up. And I keep seeing people doing this locally, and it's really upsetting. So yeah, just sending out a wish that for education and more conscientiousness, that we can appreciate beauty without destroying it.
Yeah, I'm also always, thinking about how humans are so self-centered, right? That if only we stopped and looked at how nature recycles herself, there's such a calm beauty in the way it does that. I mean, of course, sometimes there are natural wildfires that are not calm in any way, or there's natural disasters, but then those are once in a while type of events, but usually nature has this beautiful cycle no matter where you look, right? Even with the birds of prey when they are gliding up, I just love watching them because there's a calmness about it. There's this feeling of I belong here, right? And there's not a feeling of, oh, I own the sky, or but that I'm a part of it. And I think that's the main difference between humans and other animals, that we want to own things. Humans will always want to own things, when really we do so much better if we just sort of became a part of nature, right?
I think we used to live that way back in the day, right? Indigenous time. But somehow we changed that. It's the whole modernization and the forming of urban cities and fencing off things. And it just occurred to me, like, why do we even have to label ourselves? I think it's right now we're talking about a lot of people, everyone's trying to reclaim their space, reclaim themselves. And I'm Vietnamese, I'm Chinese, I'm this and that. And at the end of the day, does that really serve us? Like the DNA test tells us, oh, we're part Irish, we're part this and that. And then suddenly we change the way we are, or whatever. So it's sort of like, can we look at the world differently? Can we shift our mindset to look at ourselves as people, as human beings? Because when we do, we're no longer labeling me, other. It's us,
Totally.
Yeah. So I
And
think.
and if you've done, regression therapy, you can see yourself being born as a man, woman, in different
Parts of the world.
and the whole idea of how energy recycles itself, as you're born in these different parts, and it's just so amazing, because we are meant to accrue as much experience as we can. And that experience, I feel like we block that experience when we try to own or control it.
Or if we're fearful of it.
Yeah. Well, we have another video from Stella Lee Kemper. And I think, because it's Poetry Month, right, Ashley, we're going to, feature her. And this one is called The Great Wall. How appropriate is that for this conversation? But I have not read it. So we'll see where she takes us. It'll be interesting to see if we're all jiving today. So here we go. If you're ready, I'm going to share her video.
The piece I'll be reading for today is called The Great Wall, and it was actually published in SOU Student Press's Essential Oil, Volume 2. This was a student-run literary magazine from a student press, SOU Student Press, and I believe this was from last 2017. Yeah, the year before I was part of their editing team for the art department, for the art section, and I'm so happy to be able to get my poems published for this issue. And I'll be reading The Great Wall, which when I wrote this was more focusing on the pop culture side of it. I am a fan of pop culture, and I also want to focus on like why there's just a lack of Asian representation in pop culture. So hope you enjoy. This is The Great Wall. They say I can't make it into show business unless I flex my arms the way Bruce Lee did, until his head swelled up before he had the chance to see his star on America. They say I can't make it into show business if I don't sign my name on the movie credit, Asian Girl number 5. So I have to accept that white people are Asian protagonists. If Japanese people don't care, I shouldn't whine about a movie meant for entertainment. Art should be free, right? They say I can't make it into show business unless I'm in a K-pop group, unless I'm that third guy on the left in BTS. I can travel to America and accept my top social media award, but I can't go on stage and sing a couple of Korean songs because Asians have no talent, except martial arts. They say I can't make it into show business because editors would tell me that no one will relate to my writing unless I add more chopsticks, deep fried cats, and a racist grandma. When I said no, they questioned where I am really from. They say I can't make it into show business unless I'm willing to sell my identity to Scarlett Johansson. I entered the dragon's mouth and met with Bruce Lee, who is swimming in its belly. Welcome to show business.
Love
Wow, isn't that interesting?
Well, I really like the part about unless I have what is it, a crazy grandmother, or I want to say more about
it. A racist grandmother.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Well, we
Wow.
have a couple of messages from our Facebook friends who are watching us. So Maria Rodriguez Pariah is saying that was beautiful, Smita. So about your meditation.
Oh.
And Walter also said that was so good, Smita, emotional and calming. And then she said, I wish for peace, unity, kindness, and unconditional love in the world. You know, we joke about it, right? Like, oh, I want world peace. But really, we do. We want world peace, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? Most people look outside of themselves when they think about world peace. They always think, oh, there should be world peace. But you know what? It can begin with us, right? Right here.
Yeah.
If each of us just decided, you know, every day to meditate for these 15 minutes that we come together on Medi-Veggie, we can actually shift this world. I'm not kidding.
It's true. Well, there's a study done. I'll share a little bit about this movie. This documentary I saw. I may have mentioned in other episodes, but it's called Encounter of the Fifth Kind, and something about
Maria and Anne, listen carefully to what Trami's talking about. You might want to watch.
So Encounter of the Fifth Kind, and it's about the coming. So basically the aliens are coming, which by the way, the Pentagon did finally admit that the video that was seen in 2019 is indeed a UFO alien object. They did. So if you Google it, I think it's on CNN, they have that. Anyhow, so there was a study done where the belief is if 1% of us meditate on a single thought of some kind, then we can shift the world. So they found a town that had about 20,000 people living in it. They put in 2,000 meditators into that town without the town knowing. These 2,000 folks sat down at the same time, same day, to meditate on world peace, if you will, good things. And when they did that, what they found was crime went down. The rate of people checking into emergency room went down. Basically, everything that you could measure that day, they measured it, and bad things went down significantly. So for example, the hospital, it went down like over 20 something percent of people checking in to the emergency room, so that's significant. So the theory is, if 1% of all of us meditate on goodness, meditate on whatever it is that we want, we can shift the world, we can shift everything. So I'm just like, wow, that's like so incredible. And they even show a graph of things that happen around the world historically. What happens when there's this energetic field that's being measured all the time by the government? I forget what it's called. I apologize. I'm not that scientific. But so they noticed things like on the day that Princess Diana was killed, this number spiked. On days that something else, big things happens, it spiked. But the day where the biggest spike happened was 9/11. Because what happens that day, it was all of us being in shock, right? All of us wanting things to change, for things to be different, for things to be better. So, so human consciousness can be measured with this device. So no more do we say, well, yeah, it's all nice, but you can't prove it. Well, yes, we can. There is technology now that can, prove the shift in energy fields when we are of one consciousness.
Totally. I just shared with Smita a couple of weeks ago a program on, it was either Prime or Netflix, I can't remember, called Superhuman. And very much about like this, like how do you, is it real? I mean, we have these theories, but is it real? And they actually proved scientifically that, if Emma's in another part of the world and I'm here, and we do an experiment where Emma's looking at a bunch of cards of different colors and she's flipping up the cards and I have a blindfold on. If we're really focused in on each other and each other's energies, I can guess what color she's actually putting up just by sheer intuition.
Yeah.
And, I guess the other thought I had about this with regards to Smita's meditation today was, and having worked in healthcare for a long time and, entering sacred situations, one of the things that I really have come to understand is that when I'm at peace, I walk the world differently. So when I throw my pebbles, my actions out there, there is a ongoing effect of that ripple. And so by being at peace myself, I might be actually, in the way that I approach things, maybe the goal is to create as least amount of ripple as one can in the world that is negatively going to impact somebody down the road you don't even know or think about. So anyway, the phenomenal, interesting conversation today, Trami, about that. Thank you.
Yeah. I love things that can be scientifically proven. So I'm always searching for that, including crystals.
Yeah, but you have to
Yes.
understand that even science is something, that, okay, this is as far as what we know, and there's a lot that we don't know, right?
That's right.
So our mind, the interesting thing about the universe is that the more our mind feels like it knows more, the more the universe creates, that is to know. Because the universe is constantly creating. It never stops. And so we will never run out of things to learn and know. And there never will be a time when we are going to feel like, oh, we know everything about the universe. Because then we are going to fall into a boredom, oh, we know everything. So what is there? What is there left for us to do, right? So, but the universe keeps itself constantly interesting. Because it's dynamic.
Recreating, like you're saying, because when you think about, okay, sorry to bring it back, coronavirus, hello, it is mutating as we speak because that's
Exactly.
nature. It has to
Yes.
continue to change to
Yes.
survive, right? And
Yes.
mutate. And that's what we as
And
human beings are doing too.
I wanted to connect today's meditation with coronavirus. I'm so glad, Trami, you brought that up because there's parts of the world where it's mutating and it's causing havoc. You know, India being one of those countries where I now know everybody that I know in India has had deaths in their family
Wow.
at this point. It's that crazy. So it's mutated to the extent where, you know, you may be vaccinated, but you're still getting it. And you have to be hospitalized
Wow.
and you could still die from it. So I don't want to create an energy of fear, but I feel it is time. This is the time when we start focusing on, you know, the energy of, hey, coronavirus, go away. You've done your, you know, whatever you came to do. There's a ton of people that have died. There's a lot of families in pain. Please, you know, so I think we need to meditate on that more and more and create the energy of uh, not helplessness, but exactly the opposite, that our thoughts will create our reality.
Really have a question. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? What came first? Coronavirus? Like, is it a manifestation? Did it come because of a manifestation of ourselves inside ourselves? Like, you know, in meditation, you always hear like, okay, what is happening inside will manifest outside, right? We are what's happening in our world. Whether our office is in chaos, it manifests the fact that our minds are probably in chaos as well. So what came first? You know, did coronavirus come to us? Did we create coronavirus?
Yeah, well, I always watch movies like sci-fi or things like that, you know, like zombies and all this. I just feel like the more we continue to make movies like that with shooting, killing, end of the world, this and that, it's like you reap what you sow, right? It's like what you say, what came first? I think we came first with the whole negative feelings about stuff. And by the way, in that movie, see, you know, the fifth kind, whatever, the guy talks about how Hollywood makes these movies intentionally with scary aliens and all that because the government is involved. I know this is very like, you know, conspiracy, but it's like keeping that us having fear of the aliens. And the reality is, if
The
aliens can
opposite.
fly on the spaceship and all this stuff, yes, they can blow us up anytime they want to, but they're
Yeah.
not. Why is that? Because they're not violent people. We are the
Yeah.
violent people. Let's
We
look
are the violent.
within, right? Look at us.
Mhm.
And then stop pointing the finger at other countries too. Oh, they are killing their women and they are doing this. Look at us. We have
Yeah.
hungry people here. We have violence against women here, but we're not looking at that. We're just pointing everywhere else, right? We're saying,
Mhm.
oh, human rights, human rights. Okay, what about us? How are we treating our humans here? So
Totally.
I have to say this as a person who is a cook, as a person who loves food and the environment. Okay, this coronavirus did come from an animal to human transmission.
Yeah.
It begs to, like, this is a Medi-Veggie show, right? The amount of meat that we are eating in the world, it doesn't matter what part of the world, and it doesn't matter what people are, I mean, people are eating all sorts of things all over the world. Is there a violence in that? You know, is the process of actually consuming these animals, you know, creating our own illnesses? Our, you know, it just, it makes me feel much more kind of like, all right, let's really get into this veggie part of it. You know, let's start vegging out. Let's start vegging out big time.
vegging out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And you know, also these animals that harbored the virus, right? They were not created to be eaten. They were not meant, these are like really wild animals. They are not supposed to be eaten. And so that's a whole other discussion too, that, you know, those who consume meat, like what are they going to stop at, right? So I think we have to really look at these practices and and see that nature has its own rhythm. It has created things to function a certain way, and then human beings come in and they want to control it, or they want to have it, right? And then they don't care what it does to nature. So how does nature protect itself, right? I mean, look at what's happening to, like my mom was saying, the birds are chirping more and more. Like we hear the birds finally because we've gone quiet.
Remember the early days of when we first sheltered in place last year in March? It was the loveliest time for me. Now
Yeah,
it's all back. The craziness, the traffic is all back.
Yeah,
it's true.
me too.
Right? But remember,
Yep.
it was so nice. Yeah.
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 Empathy, like, you just go, okay, whether it's a bat or whether it's like a mongoose or whether it's like some ostrich or something, or a pig or a cow, like, what is that line for myself?
Mhm.
And really, it's a life. And so I'm really like, there are times, and then I think about the In-N-Out burger. I love my In-N-Out burger. Like I love it. Then I go for hikes, right, out in the hills here, and then I see these beautiful cows, and then I'm just tortured. Like I just can't find peace over this. So
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
hear you. I'm in the same boat. And I guess is that our consciousness is shifting, our choices. We are now being confronted with our choices. But I'm with you. It's, yeah. So we're not judging, guys.
Yeah, we're
Okay. You're
not
watching
judging
out there because
anybody.
Mina and I are confessing that we eat meat and we have guilt feelings and
Yeah.
we want to be better. And that's the point of Medi-Veggie is we're
As long as
joining a community to say, look, let's all try. And we all are not perfect. We're not all vegetarians. We're not all meditators. We try. And if each of us try a little bit, it will change, right? Personally, for me, it's changed. And I know Ashley mentioned that it's changed. Um,
Yeah.
what do you have there? A progress? What was it again?
Progress, not perfection. I did want to bring us to the momentous thing that happened yesterday, right? With
Yeah.
the sentencing, um, and um, I think that again signals a shift that we want to see in consciousness, and I was in a class yesterday and we talked extensively about how, this whole thing that happened, whatever George Floyd experienced, was so out in the open. People were able to film it, they were able to watch it. This horrific thing that happened, there were spectators who could see. And I know in the past in Rome and all that, they had spectator sports. Or even in America, in the South, there were lynchings that happened in the night when nobody could see who did that, right? But in our time, for this to happen and then for this decision to come through has been just incredible
And amazing.
to see. Amazing, right, Marcus? Would you
Yeah.
like to add something?
Yeah, it's amazing that we're even surprised. That shows
Yeah,
how bad it is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And this just brings memories of back when I remember when the Rodney King trial came out and they were all found not guilty. And by doing that, this gave I think the police officers a sense of untouchable.
Mhm.
And so how many deaths did and in the bad things the police did that one incident contribute for 40 years till we got to this point?
Yeah.
So it's so it kind of like was a vindication for that moment too, because that was filmed too. That was the first one that
Yeah.
was filmed, and so it went on all the way till now, and we're still dealing with it. So
Mhm.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. And you know, the energy, because well, I see everything as energy, right? So the energy
yeah,
of pain and trauma and
yeah,
shock is very, very heavy energy. It's a very tar-like energy, and it sticks. It sticks for a long time. It
yeah,
it
yeah,
goes into layers. We have different layers of existence. It goes into different layers. And then it's very hard to release it once it's there. So I feel like, you know, there's aspects to what we saw yesterday, even the idea that somebody could get, you know, the kind of capital punishment, right? I mean, is that fair? Like there's different questions around that as well that we have to, as a society, begin to start thinking about, you know, that what is a more loving, humane thing to do. So,
That's a lovely note to end our
yeah.
Medi-Veggie show on. So Ashley, please take us out, and we'll see everyone next Wednesday at 12:15.
Thank you, Trami. So Medi-Veggie aims to be ever innovative in encouraging health from the inside out. This is why we are here every Wednesday with these discussions, leading weekly guided meditation, sharing vegetarian recipes, and highlighting Southeast Asian artists. To our friends out there who wish to highlight your food or artistry, email us at chopsticksalley@gmail.com. We would love to have you on Medi-Veggie. In the meantime, you could check out our work on chopsticksalley.com and chopsticksalley.com art.org.